Hey everybody, Tom Cornell here, Cornell Knowledge, a show I do here on YouTube every Monday and Friday, wherein I recommend and review a bunch of movies, a book or two, and then a bunch of records. Lately I've been doing this New Music Friday release, on which throughout the week I go through albums and things that catch my interest, and then on Friday I take a deep dive into new releases and things that get recommended to me, and I compile a big long list and grab some graphics. And I thought that I would, I always been sharing them on Facebook, and I thought I would share them with you all here today. Today is August 28th, 2026. This is all of the things, there's a lot of them, I'm going to tell you now. Things that caught my interest and I thought that you would be interested in as well. I will include a graphic on this video that shows you a big long list, but then I also have what you're about to see here before you. So let's get started. Like I said, there's a whole page here of stuff, and we will go through it as follows. I've kind of messed with the formatting a little, so bear with me. I hope this is a little more accessible. So starting up, New Alabama Shakes, called I Must Be Dreaming. This is a rock soul release. If you know anything about the Alabama Shakes, you know that this stuff is awesome. Was very excited to see this get released, and yeah, I can't wait. I test drove it, which means I sort of popped through a couple songs before I added it to this list. But yeah, what I heard was absolutely fantastic. Up next, Arinishka, Ashra, and Patrick Bernard doing a record called Beneath a Sky of Mantras. As you would probably guess from the cover and from the title, this is ambient. This is very, very chill, very relaxing, and very, very beautiful. Up next, Scott over at the Prog Corner had mentioned that there's going to be a new Art in America. And so that made me go out and grab. I realized I didn't have their first record, which I absolutely love. If you know anything about Art in America, they are a husband and wife team, and they the harp features prominently. But when you think harp, you're going to think, you know, ambient or new age or that kind of thing. But no, this is straight up progressive rock. And this is a great, great album. I jumped on this shit back when it came out, back, I want to say, in the 80s. And it's a record I continually come back to. I think it's fantastic. And I highly, highly recommend this. Up next, Broadcast and the Focus Group investigate witch cults of the radio age. This is kind of a record that defies categorization. I literally have a question mark on this. It's very cool, very enjoyable, kind of all over the place, but still something that I very much enjoyed. Give this one a shot. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Up next, Brooke, Blair, and Will Blair doing the soundtrack to a film called Idiots. I don't know much about the film, don't know much about the soundtrack. If you're a long-time listener of or viewer of these kind of videos that I do, you'll know that if I see a soundtrack, I immediately grab it. Sometimes they're soundtracks, sometimes they're film scores. This, I think, is a mixture of both. Again, I don't know anything about it, but anytime I see a soundtrack, I will add it without hesitation. Up next, Charlie Day Wilson. The album is called Patchwork. This is a straight up soul record. Very cool. The guy's got a great voice. The instrumentation is fantastic. Very much recommended. Up next, Chris Rowe doing the soundtrack to a film called The Salt Path. Again, don't know anything about it. Added it because it's a soundtrack, but it looks like Sam Neill's in it, so good enough for me. Up next, Cusco, Ashra, and Wayra doing Breath Beneath the Bodhi Tree. Can you guess what this is? Yeah, it's going to be ambient, new agey, soundtracky, kind of just lovely, chill, relaxation music. Perfect to go get a massage by. Up next, Daniel Donati has a band called Cosmic Country. This is called Ryman to Roberts. This is straight up country bluegrass. It kind of reminded me in a weird way of the Dixie Dregs, but without I mean, don't get me wrong, the musical virtuosity on this record is off the charts. But it doesn't have so much, it has more of a country bluegrass edge than it did a rock edge, hence my categorization. Up next, David Fleming doing the soundtrack to the video game Marvel's Wolverine. Come on, a soundtrack, Wolverine, what more do you need? What I heard of it was really good though. Up next, Donald Rubinstein doing the soundtrack score to George A. Romero's film Martin. Let's start here. I'm a big George Romero fan. I absolutely adore Martin. I think Martin is one of his better films. And I love John Amplas, who's become a friend over the years. And this sounded great. What I heard was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, hard to not pick this one up. Ella May doing a record called Do You Still Love Me? Again, this is modern soul, female vocalist, very cool, very enjoyable. It's not like when you hear modern day soul, everyone thinks, oh, like Sade. No, this is a little different. Equally as good, but very, very different from that. Well worth checking out. I highly recommend it. Emma Rawics doing an album called PAINTBOX. This is straight up jazz. Very, very good. Very kind of old schooly, not so much fusion as it is old school jazz. But again, highly recommended. This is Enam, Cusco, and Niall doing an album called A Journey Beyond the Mind. Yep, it is ambient, new agey music. You can tell by the cover, you can tell by the title. Very, very good though. Very, very good and highly recommended. Yeah, before I show you the next thing, I'm going to play a little game with you. So this is an album called Faithfully. It is I don't even want to tell you what genre it is quite yet. But the people that play on this album are really, really interesting. Al Di Meola is on this record playing guitar. Eric Gale, Ian Anderson, Sonny Landreth, Rick Wakeman, Steve Morse, George Lynch, and Jonathan Cain. Now, are you ready for this? This is the new Engelbert Humperdinck. It's crazy. It's a record of covers. He does a really upside down version of Roxy Music's More Than This. But it's all cover songs. It's Engelbert Humperdinck, but he collects these fusion-y kind of prog rocky musicians on it, and it makes it really interesting. Is it good? Kinda. I mean, he's always had a great vocal voice. The arrangements are great. It's an album of cover songs, you know, but again, somehow he collected all of these people around him, and that is it's mind-blowing who's on this record and how good they play. So I don't know that I would recommend this to buy it, but I would say you gotta hear it. There's a playlist available on YouTube. You can find it there. But yeah, this one really had me scratching my head. So yeah, there you go. What the world needs now is a new Erykah Badu record. Absolutely fantastic. It's Erykah Badu and the Alchemist. It's called Before the World Blows. This reminded me a lot of regular Erykah Badu. It reminded me a lot of her earlier records, but yeah, it's with a little bit of a modern twist to it. Very enjoyable. Very, very cool. Up next, Flink. The album is called It's Dangerous. This is more jazz. This is more old school jazz with a little modern flair to it. I very much enjoyed what I heard of it, and that's why it's included, and because I thought you would enjoy it as well. Up next, the new Floating Points. The album is called Mere Mortals. This is very experimental, borderline on ambient, but yeah, very, very cool, very enjoyable. This is the new record, or a record by Frode Andresen, and Altless. The album is called come on, Tom. Aurora Polaris. This is very much jazz, ambient, prog. I just reviewed one of Frode Andresen's records on an upcoming episode of the show. So I'll talk a little bit more about it then. But this is a great record. Very, very good. Very, very enjoyable. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Up next, Gretchen Pariato doing The Wise Ones. This is more soul jazz. Everything I said before about it's not Sade, but it's definitely cool. This has more of a jazzier edge. Yeah, very, very cool. Enjoyable. Henry Gregson Williams film score to The Dog Stars. I don't know anything. I think it's a zombie film. You sold me with who's in it. Harry Gregson Williams is a great composer, and the fact that it's a zombie film makes me very excited for it. Let's see. This is João Donato. Viva Donato. This is piano jazz with a Brazilian flair. Very, very good. What I heard of it, and again, I just sort of test drove it, very much piqued my interest, and so I have added it here. Up next, J.J. Whitefield. The album is called Exotic Moods. This is kind of psychedelic, kind of loungy, but fantastic. The songs I heard were very cool. They weren't what I expected. Anytime I see the word exotic, I think lounge, like, you know, Robert Drasnin or that kind of a thing. Martin Denny, that kind of a thing. But this is a little different, has more of a psychedelic edge, but highly recommended. This is an old John McLaughlin that I didn't have, called Music for Abandoned Heights. Come on, it's John McLaughlin. What more of a recommendation do you want? It's not noodly as far as the guitar work goes. It's more of an ensemble piece, but absolutely fantastic. This is Kelly Green. It's called Eat Your Greens. It's more jazz. It's got kind of an old school cover, but it's definitely leans more towards modern jazz than it does like old school stuff. All right. Up next, Detroit House Ensemble. It's called Classics 1. This is more soul stuff with a little bit of jazz thrown in to make it interesting. Good stuff. I never heard of this, had no idea about it. It came up in my recommendations, and what I heard piqued my interest, so I grabbed it. This is the new Mark Isham. It's At the Carousel Club. Now, if you know Mark Isham, he was, first of all, a member of Group 87, which right there, you gotta love everything the guy does. And then he splintered off to do more soundtracky stuff. His soundtrack stuff is just really, really good. But this is a live record, and it's kind of halfway in between of like prog rock and jazz and some film score stuff. It's not film score stuff, but it sort of leans in that direction thematically and musically. What I heard, it didn't take much. I heard a little bit of this and immediately threw it in the bin. I love Mark Isham, and I think he is a really interesting composer. So good stuff, highly recommended. Let's see. This is an artist named Midori Yeager. The album is called Replanted. It's sort of vocal ambient. She sings, and there are words to it, but it's definitely leaning more towards that sort of new agey ambient feel. And yeah, good stuff. This is Mingju Chai and Jihyun Bang. The album is called Colony. It's a soundtrack to something. It might be a video game, it might be a short film or a film, but what I heard was great, was really, really good. Very sort of film scorey, but it also had a modern edge to it that I appreciated. So there we go. Up next, this is Patricia Brennan and Sylvie Courvoisier. The album is called Talmanti. This is more jazz. Great stuff. Again, kind of bridging the gap between old school jazz and modern jazz. It doesn't ever get noodly or fidgety. A lot of that stuff I don't really care for. I need a melody. I don't want just someone just frenetically hitting notes. And this definitely fit the bill. Very, very good. Very, very good. Up next, this Paul McCullough doing a soundtrack, I guess, to Night of the Living Dead. This sounds like the incidental music that they got to use or it's a redo of that music from Night of the Living Dead. I'm a big Night of the Living Dead. Shout out to Jace Whitman. He's the one that turned me on to this. Good stuff. Very, very cool. Very, very enjoyable. Let's see. This really blew me away. This is a new Prince record called Timeless that it sounds like someone has been going through somebody's archives and finding lost either songs or covers of songs or versions of songs. But number one, I would have grabbed this anyway just because it's Prince. But and then I listened to some of it, and yeah, I understand again from Jace Whitman that the Prince fan community are kind of divided on this, which is, come on, it's on the internet, so of course there's division. But what I heard sounded fantastic. Somebody outside dropping something. Let's see. Up next, this is Robert Scott Thompson, Ephemera. This is straight up ambient music, and very cool, very enjoyable, very chill. Something that you might put on either early in the morning or late at night, but highly recommended. Now this is very interesting. The artist is called Sarah, Sarah Davachi. The album is called The Will of Tongues. This is kind of modern choral music. And really enjoyable. I had a good time immediately. I heard this. I've been going through a Hildegard von Bingen phase recently, and when I heard this, my little ears immediately perked up in anticipation of what's here. What I heard was absolutely fantastic. All right. Sassofono Notturno, Stuart Bogey, Dave Harrington, and Philip Weinrobe doing E Pianetti. This is more ethereal music, very chill, very relaxing, something that you might, again, put on, just before bed, or like just get your act together in the morning. What I heard of this was cool. I expected something completely different. I expected more piano music, and from the looks of things, more Italian flavored, but no, it's not. This is great stuff, and highly recommended. This is exciting. Senri Kawasuchi doing a new record called Imagination. If you've heard of Senri Kawaguchi, she is this barn burner drummer, and very cool. Very, very cool. This it's kind of fusion-y, kind of new modern jazzy, but just absolutely great. Very, very cool. Let's see. This is a new Steve Cropper. It's called Watching the Tide. I didn't make notes about who was on it, but I'll say this. It's got everybody. Brian May's on this. There's jazz players, there's rock players, there's blues players. If you don't know Steve Cropper, he was a veteran studio musician. He was in the Blues Brothers band, played on just about every hit from the 60s and 70s that you can think of. But yeah, I'm very excited to hear the rest of this. But what I heard was really, really good. Up next, I've been waiting for this for a long time. Steve Hackett from Genesis and Steve Rothery from Marillion getting together to do a record called The Roaring Waves. This is straight up prog rock, guitar-oriented prog rock, but oh my God. Everything I've heard from this has been really great, so I'm excited to dive into it. I have a feeling I will be talking about this on an upcoming episode of the show. A couple more. This is Stephen Price's soundtrack to Coyote versus Acme. Reference everything I've said in the past about soundtracks. I'm kind of excited to see the second life that this film has had, and that makes me want to hear the score. So, last one is this. William Carn, the album's called Choices, and this is straight up jazz. Very good, very accomplished. The musicianship is off the charts. Yeah, again, the test drive I took on this one was terrific. So yeah, that is going to do it for this week. A lot of stuff. Most of it really, really good. I would say all of it's really, really good. Yeah, that's going to do it. I will be back in a couple of days with a new episode of my regular show. I just dropped an episode of the show today, this morning, about 5 a.m. If you have anything that you think I should hear, please include it in the comments. I would appreciate that. And by all means, if you like this kind of content, check out my regular show, but also subscribe to the channel. I try to drop things like I drop these every week on a Friday, but I also drop episodes on a Monday and a Friday as well, along with some special episodes. I'm doing a massive Western episode pretty soon. So that'll do it for me this week. I hope you're listening to some good stuff. Please let me know what that is so I can listen to it too. And we will see you next time.